This is the Draft Network, and welcome to Brinks.tv here at Brinks HQ. Make sure you hop on Brinks.tv to get your free account, register, and you'll be able to have a chance to win $1 million on top of having predictive gaming moments throughout the entire NFL Draft. What could change with an Aaron Rodgers move? That's what we are talking about here with some live breaking news. Adam Schefter reporting that the 37-year-old quarterback for Green Bay is disgruntled with current situations with the Packers, who of course drafted a first-round quarterback last year in Jordan Love out of Utah State. He might want out, and where could he possibly end up? Of course, Rodgers was selected in 2005 and passed over by the San Francisco 49ers, who selected Alex Smith. They pick at 3, and Kyle Shanahan has long wanted to have Aaron Rodgers, or at least a player of his talent, at quarterback. Could the Niners be the spot for Aaron Rodgers? Could the Panthers be the spot for Aaron Rodgers? They were reportedly in on the Deshaun Watson conversation. They made the trade for Sam Darnold, the trade away from Teddy Bridgewater. David Tepper, the owner, wants a splash. Could he get his big-time Super Bowl winning quarterback in Aaron Rodgers down in Carolina? And what about Miami? What about the Dolphins picking at 6 and at 18 with so much capital to potentially make this move? Listen, if it's me, I'm guessing the San Francisco 49ers. That number 3 overall pick is about as valuable as they come, and they have an opportunity there with Kyle Shanahan, who, remember, runs the same offense as Matt LaFleur, the head coach in Green Bay. That roster is ready, and of course, Rodgers wasn't able to get over the edge, lost in the NFC Championship game with those Packers, and that San Francisco 49ers team lost a Super Bowl 2 years ago. They feel close. Could a Shanahan and Rodgers marriage bring them to the promised land? That's what I tend to think. But we're going to get some perspective from some of our analysts out in the studio. You think the fantasy crew wants to get a little voice in on how Aaron Rodgers' trade might affect the NFL Draft? If so, let's throw it to them. Jamie, Josh, and Bo. Breaking news! It's Aaron Rodgers moving on draft day. It never gets more crazy than the NFL. What do you guys think?
Man, oh man, have we seen Aaron Rodgers play his final game in Green Bay. They draft Jordan Love last year. Don't even tell him about it, according to reports, and they make that move. He's disgruntled. They're trying to negotiate a new contract. That, well, clearly doesn't look to be like it's going well. What do you make of this bombshell that drops here, about 4 hours before the draft's about to start?
That's quarterback carousel, and it's still running, and it's even unexpected names at this moment. I guess my perspective is, like, how much of a better situation can Aaron Rodgers get? And it seems like, obviously, he is disgruntled, and maybe based on the moves that they made last year. You mentioned Jordan Love. It didn't stop there. It was running back A.J. Dillon in round 2, then a glorified fullback in round 3. But when you look at the roster, the Packers right now, I mean, you have an all-pro left tackle. You have one of the best wide receivers in the game in Devontae Adams. You have a top 10 running back in Aaron Jones. You have finally some connection between quarterback and play caller last season that led you to an MVP campaign. I truly wonder if Tom Brady, in the back of his head, going to his next destination and immediately winning and being the missing piece for that Super Bowl run, is what is making Aaron Rodgers think a move might be better off than sticking with the Packers.
Maybe the Packers just do exactly what they did with Brett Favre, just send him back into the New York Jets. They've got a pretty high pick, but I don't know if that's the way they're going to go. But where do you guys envision this actually ending up?
It's speculation season. But let me ask you guys this right now, because the first thing that thought of, we're thinking about pick 2, thinking about pick 3, right? Right now, we're going to put you on the spot. If you're the New York Jets, Zach Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, right now.
Despite them being a developing team, I still don't know how you can pass up on 3 to 4 to 5 years of Aaron Rodgers. And I think a lot of these teams, and we've heard it all offseason, Adam Schefter reported it, that multiple teams have been calling. In fact, the LA Rams were one of the first, and then that's where they pivoted over to Matthew Stafford. I don't know how, despite what your evaluation can be, ever believing, oh, I'll take maybe 10 years of Zach Wilson for a proven 3 to 4 to 5 years with Aaron Rodgers.
I think it's a no-brainer. He just goes from Matt LaFleur to Mike LaFleur, from Green Bay to New York. And then there's some other teams that you could look at. Maybe Carolina's one that we've kind of bandied about. Do the Panthers make sense for a guy like Aaron Rodgers? I mean, where else? I mean, San Francisco, just a couple minutes ago, they were saying 0% they heard from Green Bay.
Well, Green Bay might not want to move him. And that becomes this question of here. Is this something that's going to get momentum for a deal done tonight? A post-June 1 trade, though, offers up a lot more cap flexibility for the Packers. They don't have to move him right now. But again, obviously, you know what the capital is going to be if you would move him today. But I have a hard time imagining if you didn't want to move him when you could have gotten the number 3 pick.
Yeah.
But you never know. If Zach Wilson could be their QB1 on their board. They've apparently entertained every quarterback possible these last few years. So
well, and it wasn't something that happened today. I mean,
No.
it certainly seems like there's been a growing sense inside the Packers organization that this could happen. But it's so different than the Tom Brady situation last year where he was able to pick his team. But, and this is a big brain theory, okay? Let's throw it out there.
Hit me with it.
But I do believe, as crazy as it sounds, working on Jeopardy this summer, where you have something lined up, gives you a little bit of leverage because you are content just to move on. At least he says that. Like, oh, I could drop everything tomorrow. Not true. And then move on to this job that I have, because that might force the Packers to say, we need to get something for him before he's gone, before he retires.
Palmer.
Yes,
the Carson
exactly.
Palmer of just saying, I am not playing for the Cincinnati Bengals any longer. Trade me.
Right.
I'll go home. I'll go play golf.
He's engaged now. I mean, it's a different season of Aaron Rodgers' life. What does it mean for the Green Bay Packers, though, post Aaron Rodgers?
That's the thing. We have no clue who Jordan Love is as a prospect, as a player at all. We didn't even get preseason action. Love preseason. We didn't even know what Jordan Love looks like on NFL field. And if anyone has an even more clear evaluation of Jordan Love, it's the Packers. But if they do get, like, I don't know, the 3rd pick, the 8th pick.
That's the thing.
Right, because we're talking about Justin Fields or Trey Lance or Mac Jones falling even beyond, 3, 8, 15, so on and so forth. Would they even use that pick that they get for this potential trade to take a quarterback, or do they love Jordan Love that much? And they must, because that might be the root of this whole conundrum that they're in right now.
But by the way, just the irony of trading Aaron Rodgers and then drafting like Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase with the pick you get for trading Aaron Rodgers is just, I mean, for the rest of the NFC North, it's a chef's kiss. But how do you can't make that trade, unless the move is to make the trade and then trade back and just start piling up, dolphinsing your way to just piling up first round assets. But how do you trade up to 2 or 3 in this days, or 8?
Yeah.
Now 8 might be a little bit tougher to take a quarterback there, and it depends on where they feel about Fields or Mac Jones. But it's going to take several first round picks to make this deal
it is. And I don't know how much time we have, but can we play a little matchmaker here?
Go for it.
Let's start with number 3, because that makes the most sense, and that's already been a team that's connected with the San Francisco 49ers. Again, using this word, the root of the move for Kyle Shanahan to get up to number 3 is because he knew that this roster, at least in his mind, is Super Bowl or championship caliber. And that was the same way 2 years ago, and the quarterback was the main difference. So if you're moving up for, theoretically, Trey Lance or Mac Jones, it's because your quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo has been missing plenty of action for 2 of the last 3 years. Who is the ultimate player to take you over the edge with the great offensive line, with the great skilled players, with the great defense that you have in this moment? It's Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. And I bet they'd even give up more than they have for number 3 to then go and acquire A-Rod as well.
Yeah, it's a great point. And as far as, do you want to get him out of the conference, though? I mean, is that a big sticking point for Green Bay as far as dealing away the reigning MVP, 48 touchdowns last season? Right. Is that going to be a big... What do they hold, most important in dealing Aaron Rodgers?
So they're not going to trade him within the division, obviously. Yeah. There's some teams that would, you could probably.
Sorry, Chicago.
Look. They could give them the city, and they're not going to trade him to Chicago. If you remember all the stuff with Brett Favre,
he already owns the city, so it's okay.
Oh man, we don't want Paige to hear you say that. She's going to be back there. She's going to come out right now live on air, and that's not going to be pretty. But that's going to limit your options if you're playing the no conference game. If you don't want to go up to San Francisco at 3, you don't want to do Carolina at 8.
Well, can we talk about Carolina just for a moment?
Sure.
Because, I mean, this is exactly where David Tepper wanted this road to end. They started the offseason by reportedly offering the number 8 overall selection for Matthew Stafford. He chose LA. The Lions chose LA. Then they were absolutely in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes for multiple first rounders. Just by their actions, it is very clear that David Tepper, despite being number 8 and not moving up in this draft, does not want a rookie quarterback. He does not have the patience. He does not have the process right now.
Too much money on the line for him. He's looking for winner now.
So Aaron Rodgers is the perfect name. In fact, not to plug our own show, but on the first episode of the Underdog Football Show, we had Charles Robinson on, and he immediately mentioned from Yahoo that Aaron Rodgers to the Panthers in 2022 could be in the cards. So this might be a year early for that to happen.
I want to throw one name out there, and I can hear the collective groan of the football world in 49 of the 50 states and everybody internationally. The New England Patriots.
It does make sense, though, doesn't it?
They need a quarterback.
Yeah.
They're spending all of the money this offseason. Belichick is clearly trying to say, okay, Tom, here's my FU back to you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to show you that I can now win without you, since now everybody's starting to question me. As Kyle Krabs has talked about a lot, he's got a wins record he's chasing after. That is an all-time mark, the most wins for a head coach in NFL history. It's a couple years away. But boy, you can do that a lot quicker with Aaron Rodgers than you can with any of the quarterbacks we're talking about in this class.
One of the underlying stories, I think, of this weekend, and really until it happens, is how does Bill Belichick react when he identifies the one as his next quarterback?
Sure.
Right? Because while every other franchise seemingly has done that in the 2 decades of Tom Brady in New England 2 or 3 times, that we have not seen that with Bill. We have not seen what he does. Does he put all of his chips on the table and I'm going to target you and go after you? Or is he more of someone who wants to find someone in the middle of round 1, in the middle of the draft? This would be the ultimate move.
Yes.
To go and get someone who even played better than Tom last year.
It's intriguing.
It's the ultimate villain move, isn't it?
It is.
It would be. It's like the quintessential thing because it's not on anybody's radar. It just happens late, and you go, "How does this happen?"
Well, could I? Speaking of the word villain,
okay.
Let's maybe spin it this way. Could this be Aaron just wanting to put pressure on Green Bay to actually give him some extra help? I mean, again, I want to reiterate. It's not like he's on a bad team. He's on a tremendous team with a tremendous roster and great players around him.
So does that change? Let's assume that no deal happens today, because that's gonna just blow up the entire draft, like mock draft style. But does that change the way you think they go tonight at the end of the first round?
It does for me a little bit because of it certainly seems like the root again of this starting was last year's draft with Jordan Love, a big running back in round 2. And then a glorified fullback in round 3.
Yes.
And so at the end of round 1 right now, there's going to maybe be an Elijah Moore out there. Maybe a Rashad Bateman. Maybe, and I think we'll learn a lot tonight if the move is not made, just how seriously the Packers are to appease their star quarterback. Or if they don't, and maybe it's a corner or someone else, not even an offensive tackle, which they desperately need depth there, that it's just business as usual. And then this all restarts again, maybe not this year, but maybe next offseason.
But can you put this cat back in the bag one more time? I mean, this has been a pretty rocky relationship for a long time now. I mean, is this Aaron Rodgers playing his last card? Are you guys shocked that it's gotten to this point?
No.
I'm not, because I'm shocked because it's always shocking to see the news in front of you, but I'm not shocked. It feels to me like we've been heading down this path. It's been a rocky relationship for a while, and the Packers have kind of been aloof about it. That's kind of how they have run this. And now Aaron Rodgers is throwing the gauntlet down. Like, give me a ring or I'm out of here.
Yeah.
We're not playing your game anymore. Give me what I want. And by the way, what I want is not just protection there. Like, do you think, even beyond if they go receiver or go offensive line there, do you think the Packers have to seriously consider the appeasing Aaron Rodgers to be getting Jordan Love off of their roster to a team that misses out on Justin Fields, misses out on Mac Jones? Whether it's, Denver still doesn't have a long-term answer. The Panthers don't have a long-term answer, unless you believe in Sam Darnold. The Patriots don't have a long-term answer. The Chicago Bears don't have a long-term answer. Not all of these teams are getting a quarterback today. Does that come into the equation? Do you have to say, okay, we're going to get rid of Jordan, we're going to draft you a wide receiver, we're going to give you more input in what we're doing, we need to solve this? Or do they say, we are the Green Bay Packers, we know better than everybody, and we could win without Brett Favre, we can win without Aaron Rodgers? Where do you think they're going to lean on this?
That would be a tremendous win for Green Bay if they can go up and they can get a draft spot ahead of where they even took Love a year ago without him even seeing any playing time. Or does it dip back into the second round? Do you take a loss on that?
I do wonder, because, again, there are 5 quarterbacks in this class. We're even having a difficult time trying to place those very talented quarterbacks. And not to speak for everyone here, at least for myself, I would place all 5 of those ahead of the talent that we saw in Jordan Love last year. So would a team take, I don't know, from 28 to 15, would the Patriots take on Jordan Love just to move up 13 spots or drop back 13 spots? To your point, though, it does make sense, because Adam Schefter did report that there is a contract on the table, and Aaron's not signing it.
You want to get really galaxy brain
Do it.
here?
Do it.
Okay, just something that popped in my mind. I want to throw this out there. In a classic who says no scenario, Jordan Love and A.J. Dillon for 24.
Just so both
So the
those
Steelers.
players for the 24th
Yes.
overall pick.
So the Packers keep 29.
Yeah.
They'll take 2 first-round picks. The
Oh, I
Steelers
like
get the
this.
running back that they want. It's
Because
not
they just
Najee
signed
Harris.
Aaron Jones to a contract.
You trade A.J. Dillon, you could get a number 2. I know Jamal Williams left, but you could find a number 2.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh gets the quarterback of the future that they need.
Yeah.
Jordan Love can sit one more year behind Ben Roethlisberger. You get a new starting running back in A.J. Dillon to pair with the guys you already have there in Anthony McFarland.
Yeah.
And the Packers get 2 picks. You can address wide receiver and corner. You can go
like
wide
this.
receiver, offensive line. And if you're the Steelers, you say, okay, cool. We know we've got one more year of Ben. Now we have another option. We bring in a running back to make people happy. Like, I'm intrigued by that.
The ink isn't even dry in Mason Rudolph's extension he signed today.
Okay, that's adorable. Don't care. Mason Rudolph is a guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Solid backup, whatever. But to me, it's just like I think about that. I know the Packers like A.J. Dillon, but
Yeah.
the Steelers, if we believe all the reports, which is every beat writer that has any connection to Pittsburgh, is they want running back Najee Harris at 24 if he's there. Giving them a powerful running back, giving them the quarterback of the future, and for Green Bay being able to make 2 of those first-round picks, you guarantee you're going to get one of those quality receivers. Maybe, we don't expect Devonta Smith to fall that far, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Maybe you take those 2 picks and move up.
Yeah.
If a Jalen Waddle falls.
But I'll tell you, yeah, I like what you're saying because it keeps Aaron in Green Bay. And while it might not be the perfect situation, I also don't know if we thought exactly that Tampa Bay would be the perfect situation for Tom last year. I mean, adding Tristan Wirfs at right tackle was a major component to that for really it being an over-the-top team. I understand he's disgruntled, and probably it's because of being left out of the decision-making process. But then you're basically hitching your wagon to him for the next 3 to 5 years, and maybe he asks for even more on that contract extension. It's a tough one. It's absolutely tough.
It's going to be really fascinating, but let's throw back to Ben right now for a little bit more analysis on this massive news that dropped just a little bit ago.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Jamie, and thank you, Bo. Aaron Rodgers breaking news it's kind of a lot. And so I wanted to bring on somebody who could help us out and understand it in a bigger way. The Draft Network, Brings.TV. We're very excited to partner with Locked On and the Locked On Podcast Network. So I wanted the Locked On Green Bay Packers host himself. That's Peter Bukowski. And Peter, I appreciate you joining us for this one. I want to know from you instant reactions. We knew Aaron Rodgers was upset. Just how disgruntled does he really have to be if he's asking him to get outside of Green Bay?
Yeah, this is a little mind-boggling, honestly. I didn't think we would get to this point so soon. The reporting in the offseason was that Rodgers wanted some more money, that they had gone to him with a restructure. He said no. We just got an echoing of that timeline from Ian Rappaport over at NFL Network. His telling of the events, by the way, is decidedly softer than what we've heard from Adam Schefter. That the Packers have tried to work on an extension, that Rodgers is not content with that extension, but that is what the Packers want to do. They have zero intention. That verbiage has been used twice now in reports to describe where Green Bay is with this. They do not intend to trade Aaron Rodgers. They're trying to work out a long-term deal. What is surprising to me is, I guess, or confounding is, I don't know what the ask is, because Adam Schefter, who reported, the sort of more nuclear version of this, is saying he hasn't asked to be traded. So if he hasn't asked to be traded and he doesn't want to go back to Green Bay, is he just going to host Jeopardy? I guess I don't really understand what he's looking for here. And so that's the part of this that I think, if we're just trying to use a little bit of Occam's razor, say, okay, they're working on this deal. Rodgers is pissed. He's trying to exercise, it seems to me, a little bit of leverage to say, here are 2 things I would really like for this to work out. You clearly want to extend me. I'm the league MVP. I can play into my 40s. You just saw Tom Brady win the Super Bowl, at 43. So I want you to find a new home for Jordan Love. Don't like that guy. I don't like him being here. And I need you to go up and I need you to get Rashad Bateman, Elijah Moore. Hell, go up and get Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith. That is, I think, his way of saying, I need more here I need more than just contractual commitment to our pursuit of a championship. I saw what Tampa Bay just did. They did everything Tom Brady asked, essentially, including sign a player in Antonio Brown. They did not want to sign. Bruce Arians said, thanks, but no thanks. And then they got Tom Brady, and guess who came to Tampa Bay? And guess who's back? Antonio Brown. So for the Packers, Adam Schefter said, I don't really know, or Green Bay doesn't really know what to do at this point. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. Maybe they do know that the real answer is go up and get a playmaker offensively and start there. Or if you can find a trade partner, the Patriots, there was, that very nebulous piece of paper that was out there saying, hey, cool. The Patriots are considering trading for Jordan Love. Maybe, maybe not, but maybe that's something that they have to do in order to get Rodgers, sign off on whatever long-term deal they can put together.
I'm curious then, as a fan, because you've been watching Rodgers for a long time, he's delivered you a lot of wins. Where are you hoping he doesn't go? Because I feel like a lot of these options aren't great. They're pretty good teams. It can be pretty successful with Rodgers. Where's the last spot that you, as a Packers fan, want to see him?
Well, Kevin Seifert from ESPN joked, where is Aaron Rodgers going to play before he finishes his career in Minnesota? I think that would be something that would hurt a lot of Packer fans' feelings. I think the hardest in the short term would be a place like San Francisco, because he really could go win the Super Bowl. And I think that would be the thing that would most hurt the feelings of fans. If he went to Chicago, they'd be good. They would certainly be in the mix, but would they be favorites in the NFC? I don't know. I don't think so. It would probably still be Tampa Bay. And that's the other part of this, Ben. This isn't Tom Brady, getting his release and going to Tampa Bay where they have a ready-made contender. If the Packers decide to deal him, they could send him to New York. And are the Jets, as currently constituted, a contender, especially if they give up picks to go do that? Are they even a 10-win team, even with Mike LaFleur? And what is that relationship going to be like if he can't make it work with Matt LaFleur and he's going to go play for Matt's brother? It just, that outcome just doesn't seem in the cards to me. And Rodgers can only do so much to direct where he ends up going. They could send him to Carolina. Are they a ready-made championship contender? I don't know. So ultimately, my gut feeling here is the Packers do what's necessary to make Rodgers happy, and Rodgers can then walk this back later and say, hey, look, this got blown out of proportion. This was a negotiation. And, I wanted to make sure that they were going in the right direction. And if the Packers do those things, Packer fans are going to want Rodgers back. They're going to want that receiver. They're going to want Rashad Bateman. And if it takes trading Jordan Love for 30 cents on the dollar, I think most fans are going to be on board with that.
So you don't think the well is poisoned? You think this is roll back a bowl? Because this is about as big as we've gotten some of the difficulty here with Rodgers. And you said, they're going to try to say, oh, this was overblown. You think this is not full done? There's still a way to save this?
I think if his end goal isn't to be dealt, and so far the reporting is just that he's really pissed. It's not, hey, I want to go to San Francisco. Hey, I want to go to, it can't be LA anymore. Hey, I want to go to Cleveland or Minnesota. It could all just be Rodgers exercising whatever leverage he thinks he has left to say, maximize this now. Let's figure this out and go win a Super Bowl. But I don't know. Given the way that this is being reported, it could end up being that the well is poisoned and that this is just it, that we've seen Rodgers play, his last game as a Green Bay Packer.
I do want to know the Jordan Love expectations. We talked about how this team, they did build around Rodgers a little bit. We got an all-pro left tackle. We got an all-pro wide receiver. And then there's the first-round quarterback of the future. So let's say it's Love starting next year, which I know you just tried to tell me there's a chance it's not. Let's say it's Love starting next year. 17-game season, winnable NFC North. Set expectations for me, because you've told me Love's first year wasn't exactly what the Packers were hoping in the building. So, set expectations. Jordan Love for 17 games. How many wins are we getting? How successful are we?
Well, that's another important point here, right? If Jordan Love had gangbusters all year, maybe the Packers would say, hey, San Francisco, we'll take the third overall pick and whatever other picks that you're offering us in this deal. He's not. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're really unwilling to trade him. But let's say Rodgers and Jordan Love is the quarterback in a 17-game season. I mean, I think you'd set the over-under at like 6.5. Are they definitely better than the Vikings with Jordan Love? Are they definitely better than the Bears with Jordan Love? I think they could be. And I think it would depend on, what the draft class looked like. It would depend, let's say they sign Richard Sherman. Let's say they sign Casey Hayward. I think that would play into it here too. But if we assume just sort of like a B draft class and no additional free agent moves, yeah, I mean, I think 7 wins, 8 wins is probably the kind of team that you're looking at. Elite quarterbacks by Vegas, they can move the line, 5-6 points. So if you're talking about 5-6 points a game, all of a sudden, yeah, I think Green Bay, you're talking about 4 or 5 wins off their projected win total.
Shell, I'm thinking about the locker room right now. I'm thinking about vets like David Bakhtiari, right? I'm thinking about the defense, which has got some pro veterans as well. What do you expect locker room reaction will be like to this news? Is Rodgers a guy that you're going to see the team try to rally around and say, hey, we support you, we want you to get what's best for you, maybe if that's not here, it's fine? Or are there going to be sour grapes? Is this going to be Rodgers? This is a good setup. We've been to back-to-back NFC Championship games. Why are you still complaining? The read of the room in the Green Bay locker room, how do you think they're going to react to this news?
That's a great question. And presumably Rodgers thinks he has an answer. This is certainly a move that 10 years ago you just don't make in the NFL. And I think our view perception-wise from the outside has changed. I think players' perception of the business has changed. It's no longer we're doing everything possible for the team. It is, this is a business. You have to do what's best for you. And I think players respect when other players are doing that. But it would be hard for some of those guys not to take it personally, right? Someone like Zadarius Smith, who came to Green Bay to compete for a championship and who got a lot of money to elevate his profile, he gets to do that. And then all of a sudden, one of the reasons presumably he went to Green Bay is saying, I don't want to be here anymore. And so I think part of that is going to be tough. But at the same time, Rodgers has a good relationship with a lot of the guys on the team. He's very close with Devontae Adams. He's very close with David Bakhtiari. Has a really good relationship with Alan Lazard and Aaron Jones and Big Bob Tunyon. So I think they would say, look, we understand your perspective. You were just the league MVP. The Packers should be paying you and they should be doing everything they can. I don't think it's a situation where like Jordan Love has built up so much goodwill in that locker room that everyone there is this fracture, team Love versus team Rodgers. This isn't like the Eagles, for example, when there really seemed to be this Foles faction and Wentz faction. And then that Wentz faction was going like this over time to the point that they could move on. I don't think that's the case with the Packers.
Firstly, I did not need that pot shot at the Eagles. You watch yourself. You're on my show. This is my set. Be careful. I do want to know. Let's say today it's the last day. It's the final day of Aaron Rodgers' Packers career. How will you remember him? Will you remember him as the promised prince who delivered, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, of the Green Bay quarterbacks, which is obviously a very storied group, or is it going to be only one Super Bowl? All this drama, all this close but not quite. What will be Aaron Rodgers' legacy as a Packer if really today we get the news in 1 minute, 1 hour, whatever it is, that he's headed somewhere else?
I can't say for sure, and I know that's a cop-out, but I think I can say for sure that the reaction will be different in 10 years than it is in the short term, because Brett Favre created a lot of division among Packer fans and created a lot of scar tissue among Packer fans when he forced his way out. And there were a lot of people who hated Aaron Rodgers right away because he wasn't Favre, and they were mad at the team, and they eventually got over it because of what happened. If the Packers trade Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love becomes the next Aaron Rodgers, I think they'll get over it pretty quickly. The wounds of Favre have healed. I think we think of Favre now fondly, that is until he goes on radio and says silly things. But as a Green Bay Packer, he is thought of far more fondly now than he was in, say, 2007 or 2008. I think Rodgers would be in the same position. He's going to have people who are going to defend him no matter what. and he's going to be their guy and he's going to be beloved. I was on local radio in Milwaukee the other day, and I asked the host, do you think fans love Aaron Rodgers the same way they love Brett Favre? And his answer was, I think people want to, which is importantly not the same thing, right? And so I'm actually very interested to see. So far, based on a very scientific study I did on my Twitter replies, people are blaming the team for this. And so if that's the case, then I think Aaron Rodgers will still be a beloved figure, and it will be, can you believe this team screwed this up so badly that Rodgers said, I'm out?
Peter, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate you here joining us. I gotta say, it's been a while since I saw you. Beard looks great. You're ready for the winter of a Rodgers-less existence there in Green Bay. News drops and you hop on for us. Thanks so much, buddy. We appreciate it.
Anytime, Ben.
Listen, that's the Green Bay Packers. That's Aaron Rodgers, who suddenly has now become just the biggest figure of draft day. Always has to make the news about himself, maybe make a game show about himself as well. We are live from Brinks.tv for all of the breaking news. So hey, if we leave and 5 minutes later he's traded, you can find me right back here at the latest at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time for our live show before draft day 1. Brinks.tv. Go, join, create a free account, register for a chance to win $1 million and predictive gaming on the NFL draft all the way through day 1, day 2, and day 3. Aaron Rodgers breaking news. We're reacting to it just with you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch you later tonight.
This is where it starts, where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Best ball season is here, and it's bigger than ever. With no waivers, trades, or setting lineups, it has never been easier to have a shot at the $1 million grand prize. Underdog Fantasy lets you draft a season-long league in seconds, thanks to their slick mobile app and state-of-the-art website. And best of all, if you don't love it, there's a $100 money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Draft for the 2021 season today.
Brinks TV, loving on you with lots of cash and prizes. Brings TV. Play, win, repeat. Oh my. Play, win, repeat. Oh my. Play, win, repeat. Oh my.
This is where it starts, where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Angles, we're with you every step of the way.
Best ball season is here, and it's bigger than ever. With no waivers, trades, or setting lineups, it has never been easier to have a shot at the $1 million grand prize. Underdog Fantasy lets you draft a season-long league in seconds, thanks to their slick mobile app and state-of-the-art website. And best of all, if you don't love it, there's a $100 money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Draft for the 2021 season today.
Brings TV. Loving on you. With lots of cash and prizes. Brings TV. Play, win, repeat. Oh my. Play, win, repeat. Oh my. Play, win, repeat. Oh my.
This is where it starts, where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Angles, we're with you every step of the way.
Best ball season is here, and it's bigger than ever. With no waivers, trades, or setting lineups, it has never been easier to have a shot at the $1 million grand prize. Underdog Fantasy lets you draft a season-long league in seconds, thanks to their slick mobile app and state-of-the-art website. And best of all, if you don't love it, there's a $100 money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Draft for the 2021 season today.
Brings TV. Loving on you. With lots of cash and prizes. Brings TV. Play, win, repeat. Oh my. Play, win, repeat. Oh my. Play, win, repeat. Oh my.
This is where it starts, where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Ingles, we're with you every step of the way.
Best ball season is here, and it's bigger than ever. With no waivers, trades, or setting lineups, it has never been easier to have a shot at the $1 million grand prize. Underdog Fantasy lets you draft a season-long league in seconds, thanks to their slick mobile app and state-of-the-art website. And best of all, if you don't love it, there's a $100 money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Draft for the 2021 season today.
Oh yeah. From Kill Cliff, the #1 clean energy drink in the mind of Joe Rogan, comes the Flamin' Joe. Sugar-free, B vitamins, electrolytes, all them